Thank you. Mandy, we left off talking about an email you received on November 3rd. Do you recall?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I think you just finished essentially reading some of the relevant portions of that email. What specifically concerned you about this email?
Which would be the second to last paragraph when he told us, or he told me that there was going to be fire and fury in the municipal building, and that I need to be psychologically prepared, as well as the last line. Basically, he, scaring me and then telling me to keep it to myself and don't forward it on to anybody.
And did you ultimately forward it on to Sturgill and Malone?
Yes.
And days afterward, did Mr. Kachinsky reach out to you to cancel said event?
Yes.
Now, I would ask to move Exhibit 19 into evidence and publish that to the jury.
Based upon prior conversation, together with the foundation clearly established, 19 is received and may be published.
Might look like you're sleeping, but
It would appear that I'm seeing 13 sets of eyes. That would suggest to me now that everybody's had a chance to read Exhibit 19. Please go ahead.
Wonderful. Ms. Bartelt, I'm now handing you Exhibit 21, and if the jurors want to pass their copies down, I can take that. Mandy, what is that document?
An email from Mr. Kachinsky dated November 7th of 2017, subject line unfinished business.
And I want you to read the very last paragraph of that email.
Very soon, I want to come in and get a refresher course on your daily activities. You drive a dangerous commute on a dangerous two-lane highway and engage in other activities that may result in unexpected injury and absence. I need to know enough about the system to guide someone else through it enough to keep things on close and even keel in the event you are not able to do so.
When you obtained that email from Mr. Kachinsky 4 days after the November 3rd emails, what was your reaction to that paragraph?
That scared me just about as much as the previous email, because I'm thinking, what is he going to do to my car? Because I park in the same spot every single day, and now he's telling me that I might be out of work and he needs to come observe what I do because I drive this dangerous two-lane highway.
And did he ultimately follow up with this said contingency plan for you?
Absolutely.
Did that make things more or less concerning to you?
Very concerning because of the content of how he wrote the follow-up email.
Now, I think we already talked a bit about the letters of reprimand from Mr. Kachinsky. Did you receive any letters of reprimand from him prior to the summer of 2017?
No.
So was that October letter of reprimand you referenced earlier, your first letter of reprimand?
Yes.
Okay. Did you receive another letter of reprimand on November 17th of 2017?
Yes.
Mandy, I'm handing you Exhibit 24. Is this the letter of reprimand you received in November?
Yes.
And if you can just peruse that very briefly on your own, can you let me know if any portion of that has to do with your capability as a court manager?
No.
No what?
It does not have to do with work.
What specifically is he reprimanding you for?
In this specific reprimand in November of 2017, he is reprimanding me for him. He's stating that I stated that he was stalking me. So I'm getting reprimanded because of something he did, and he said that I stated he was stalking or tracking me. So I got reprimanded for that.
Can you read the very last paragraph of the second page?
I wish that the letter was unnecessary. However, your mistaken accusations was not just a matter of mistaken perception of reality. It was the result, at minimum, of reckless disregard for the truth. I had informed both you and your mother and you on at least I informed both your mother and you on at least 2 occasions that your mother had shown up on Facebook feed on my phone at different times and suggested she might want to change her settings. You had no reason to believe I had any interest in tracking your mother or you. The stalking allegation by you demonstrated extremely poor judgment. You can do better than that.
Let's move on to December. Now, what, if anything, did the defendant provide to you on December 10th of 2017?
I know that he gave me another reprimand in December, but I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to.
Would it refresh your recollection to show you an exhibit?
Yes.
Okay. In December, did Mr. Kachinsky ever write a letter to your husband?
Yes.
All right, I'm handing you Exhibit 25. What is that document?
He had sent my husband a letter regarding his behavior that was going on at the court, or at the municipal court.
And just for clarification, did that letter actually get sent out, or was it provided to you?
He put it on my desk in an envelope and then sent an email that if I wanted to provide it to him, I could.
Okay. Now, can you read the third and fourth paragraphs of that letter?
The third paragraph says, on December 7th, 2017, a coworker informed me that this situation had resulted in Mandy crying and being stressed out because of domestic problems it was causing. I knew Mandy had reacted similar to repeating yelling at her by her previous supervisor in Outagamie County. I did not know it had reoccurred at Fox Crossing. Mandy did not want her relatives involved in this, even though an incident involving her mother was one of the most serious and most refutable charges against me. However, I want you to know that I deeply regret the adverse effects this has had on Mandy and her home life. I am taking steps immediately to turn the situation around. I am not going to wait 3 more months until the legal situation plays out. I hope that by Christmas things will start to be better for Mandy and you.
Now I want to jump to December 23rd. Did you get another letter of reprimand on that day?
Yes.
I'm handing you State's Exhibit 26. Is this the letter of reprimand to which you speak?
Yes.
And what is the theme of this letter of reprimand?
Again, non-work related, but the theme of this is he personally had done things and maybe I didn't say thank you, and then he reprimanded me because I didn't say thank you for personal things that he had went out of his way to do.
Can you read from on December 21st until the end of the page?
On December 21st, 2017, you twice refused to acknowledge or return a Christmas greeting to me. The first time was in chambers before court when you asked about whether a defendant needed to appear in court or could leave. The second was after court in the presence of Jeff Sturgill and Aaron Lemieux. I extend Christmas greetings to Aaron, and she reciprocated. You do not have any religious objections to Christmas or holiday greetings. Beginning December 7, 2017, I made concerted effort to improve our workplace rapport that continued to decline since April 18th of 2017. Among the measures I took were the following. Number 1, a letter to your husband, Doug, explaining my regrets about the role the office atmosphere had on your domestic life. I gave it to you to read and deliver if you thought it was appropriate. Number 2, I sent you an email abolishing the work-only conversation guideline. In my opinion, only exacerbated the poor atmosphere. Number 3, on December 13, 2017, I brushed the snow off your car and that of 4 other Fox Crossing employees. It had snowed about 2 inches that day. Lisa Malone expressed thanks, but not you. On December 14, 2017, I personally delivered you your 40th birthday card to you. On December 20th, I posted an office picture of you on Facebook and praised you for your moral support during the GVHB hospitalization. I sent you a copy of the post since you defriended me on Facebook in May of 2017.
And then can you read the first sentence following that?
You did not respond in a positive manner to any of the above.
So essentially, this letter of reprimand is reprimanding you for not positively embracing his actions towards you?
Correct.
Did you feel that that was appropriate?
No.
Now, I want to talk about one final thing in December. December 28th of 2017. Does that date stick out to you for any reason?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because that was on December 28th, our village administrator and our human resources was not available. So our captain of our police department had the meeting with us. When the meeting started, it was again, we have to have rapport, we have to have rapport. And it was the same old has been going on for months. And I will be honest, I wasn't even paying attention because it was the same stuff over and over and over, and he just wouldn't leave me alone. And then he quickly turned to me and he said to me, I know where your sister lives. And I looked at him and I said, what? And he looks at me and goes, I know where she lives and I know where she works. And I said, excuse me? And I said, he goes, she works at Theta Care. And I said, how do you know that? And then I thought to myself, maybe at some point in time when he was sick, I might have said to him, you know, my sister works at Theta Care. It was a hospital. And then I thought, well, okay, maybe I might have said it to him. And then all of a sudden, he looked at me and he said to me, I know where your parents live. Or excuse me, he said, I know where your mother lives. And I said, what? And he said, I know where your mother lives. And I said, how do you know where my mother lives? And then he kept telling me, it's white pages, it's white pages, it's Google Earth. So not only did he go on white pages to, clearly he sent him a letter to find them. Then he actually went on Google Earth as he stated himself. I didn't state it, it came out of his mouth to tell me he went on Google Earth, then you can actually see their house. Then he continued, and so he already told me he knows where my sister lives, he knows where my parents live, and then he looked at me and he said, I know where your brother lives. And I looked at him and I said, what? And he said, you told me. I said, I did not tell you. I said, I don't know where my brother lives at this point in time. And he goes, yes, you do. I said, no, I don't. And then he kept going on and on to tell me how he knew where every single one of my family members lived within a 90-mile radius. Then he decided to tell me that I have a nice big house in Outagamie County. So he clearly has some knowledge of either Google Earth to look at my house or whatever he was doing, but he explained about my house and just everywhere I lived, and it shouldn't be a problem because it's all public information. He can go on there and he can look this all up, and he can go and find our houses and look at our houses, and it was all public information, and it was not a big deal, so I'm overreacting.
What was your reaction?
This and shaking, and I couldn't believe that he is taking it to just another level.
And there was a police officer in the room?
Absolutely.
What was his response towards you as you were crying and shaking?
The captain of our police department, or Mr. Kachinsky,
Mr. Kachinsky.
he had this just kind of blank stare, like this was normal to look somebody up, and it was okay that he'd go on and find my whole entire family and go view their houses on Google Earth, as he states.
How would you describe your relationship with Mr. Kachinsky at this point?
There was absolutely zero.
How did you feel when he was around you?
I was scared of him. I did not want to be around him. I wanted absolutely nothing to do with him. I wanted to be in another office. And if there was court, we were in court, and there was no sitting in the office prior to that. I did not want to be anywhere near him. I wanted to do my job, and that's all.
I want to go into January now. I'm handing you State's Exhibit 27. Can you describe what this document is?
It's another email dated January 25th. The subject line was a bit about today.
And who sent that email?
It was from Mr. Kachinsky
To who?
to myself.
Now, if you could go ahead and read the paragraphs that begin with 4th and 5th.
Fourth, I have said this before, but it remains true. Doug is a good influence and support for you. I'm glad he could take off and be in court with you today. Barb could not. You cannot completely separate domestic life from the office. Rest assured that I will make decisions about you based on what I think is best for Fox Crossing Municipal Court, not upon what Barb thinks. Fifth, you may take down the copy of the Trump book cover, Fire and Fury. The reason I posted it was to demonstrate in a vivid way that statements that seem like threats are not always threats. Read stuff closely and think for a few seconds before rushing to conclusion that something is a threat, whether it is an email or reference to a research tool. These tools may be useful for municipal court from time to time.
He references Doug being in court. Again, Doug is your husband?
Yes.
Was he in court with you that day?
Yes.
Why?
And I'm trying to think what day this. And it was probably because I was scared of him. I mean, there was so much, so I'm trying to revert back, but my assumption is that I was scared of him.
Did Doug stop by the office frequently during this time period?
Absolutely.
Was it at your request?
Yes.
And what did Doug's presence do for you?
It made me feel comforted because, I mean, anytime anything would happen, I'd get on these, peaks and, okay, everything's good. And then we'd go back and he would come there just to, everything's going to be okay, just everything was going to be fine.
And he references the Trump book cover, Fire and Fury. Was that a poster hanging in your office?
Yes,
He put it up?
yes,
Was it after the November 3rd email?
yes.
All right. On February 15th of 2018, did you have a court hearing with this defendant?
Yes.
And what was it for?
We, meaning myself, I had an attorney, and we filed a restraining order against him.
And did you give testimony regarding what had occurred in this office
Yes,
situation?
yes,
Was it similar to what you've testified to today so far?
yes,
Okay. Did Mr. Kachinsky also testify in that case?
yes, he did.
Ultimately, did the court grant your request for a harassment restraining order?
Yes, she did.
We have an objection, go ahead.
Withdraw.
The objection is withdrawn. Please answer the question.
I believe she already did.
Okay, could you, I was paying attention to the objection and heard something, but I wasn't sure of the response. You're satisfied the question has been asked and answered, Attorney
Yes.
Folger?
Yes.
All right, very well. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Now, after that hearing, did you hear from Mr. Kachinsky?
Yes,
In what format?
in email.
How shortly after that incident did you hear from him, if you can recall?
I know that I went to lunch after the hearing and before I got back to my offices when he had already sent me an email.
Okay. I'll hand you Exhibit 28. Is this that email that you speak of?
Yes.
And what is the first sentence, essentially, of that email?
It says, Ms. Bartelt, the hearing today does not change the procedures I intend to follow.
Thank you. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel as though, is this just a piece of paper, or is this going to do something to keep him to make him stop?
Did he send you any other concerning emails in the month of February?
Yes.
Did one of them pertain to an old employer of yours?
Yes, I would have to see the email, just because of the abundance of emails.
Rather than belaboring the point, was there a news article sent to you from him?
Yes.
What was that about?
I'm trying to think, there was several news articles. I'd have to see which one it was, just because there were several news articles.
Sure. Handing you Exhibit 29. Can you tell me what that document is?
He sent in a news article to me, which was subject line was Ozaki County. Before I moved up here, I worked at Ozaki County, and he had stated in this email it could be worse because of issues that were going on in their court, which I knew nothing about.
Now, does contact after that February 15th hearing at least somewhat decline?
I would say decline, but not stop.
Let's talk about March of 2018 then. Were you to have a vacation that month?
It was at the end of March, so probably like beginning of April. So end of March, beginning of April, sometime around there.
And did anything happen regarding your employment, your job as court manager, right before you were set to take vacation?
Yes, it was, I believe, the same week that I was going to take vacation. He had stopped in the office around 2 o'clock that afternoon and had given me a termination letter.
Was this an expected visit?
No.
So is it just you and him at this point?
To be honest with you, I don't know if it started him and I. I know Mr. Sturgill was in there, but I don't know at what time, just because everybody was on aware anytime he was in or around the building. So I'm not positive Mr. Sturgill was there in the beginning or if he quickly got there.
What was your reaction at being told that your employment was terminated?
Of course I'm scared. I was very upset. Besides all of this that's going on, I truly enjoy my job and others that I work with. I'm also leaving for vacation, and I'm the insurance holder for myself and my whole entire family. So scared.
And what was the date of your termination to be?
At that point, my date of termination was, I believe it was March 26th.
Was that going to be when you were on vacation?
No, I was just leaving for vacation.
Okay. Did Mr. Kachinsky make any changes to that date?
Yes, when he had come into the office and he had handed me the envelope with the termination letter in it, I had asked him while he was there, when is this effective? And he said, now, well, unless that's you want an extension. So I said, of course.
Had you ever heard of any employer giving an extension on a termination?
No,
Did you find that to be odd?
very.
Now, after this occasion, what was conveyed to you as far as your employment at Fox Crossing by the administration?
Meaning it as far as,
Would you have a job after vacation?
yes, I would have a job.
Would it be as court manager?
It was either there or in another department, but I would have a job.
Did you ultimately continue to work in the capacity as court manager through the spring of 2018?
Yes.
Was this as a result of getting more and more extensions from the defendant?
Yes, I was fired once and given 5 extensions.
How did you take that to mean? What did you take away from his willingness to give you extensions?
My opinion on that is just basically one more thing that he could dangle my employment over my head and just keep giving another extension and another extension where he had control.
So on June 19th of this year, was there another court hearing?
Yes.
And at this point, you're still the court manager?
Yes, I am.
Did you have to testify to all of this occurring?
Yes,
And did the defendant also testify?
he did.
At any point while you were present and listening to that hearing, did Mr. Kachinsky dispute your allegations about what had occurred?
He did not dispute any of it. He actually, and you can tell me if I'm going too far, but he actually added to the story that I didn't, I mean, he added to, as he was testifying, he added to the story of what he had done.
Did he testify to things that you weren't personally aware of?
Not that I was not personally aware of, because he had sent him in emails, but he was testifying and then basically was going on about how much our house value was and how much he estimated, I believe how much he estimated either my husband's income or both of our incomes, and he kept going on about more and more personal information that he took it upon himself to find out, to the point that the judge had interrupted.
Mandy, I think I'll conclude with the chronological events with July 2nd. July 2nd, 2018, you're still working as court manager?
Yes.
And do you recall, was this a Monday?
Yes.
When you came into work, what, if anything, did you discover?
He was in over the weekend, I believe. He was in over the weekend, or could have been early that morning, but it was, once again, he had more posters and more things to leave at the office.
Were there more than one posters?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about one of them.
One of them, he put our village administrator's picture on it, and had a phrase, and at the end of the phrase, I believe the phrase was, without seeing the poster again, was something along the lines of, "Hi, my name is Jeff Sturgill, and I'm not here to help you." And then I don't know what his phrase was, but it was like WWRD. I don't know what it meant, but he had a phrase at the end, and that was one of them.
Where was that placed?
That was placed on his desk in full view.
And was there another poster?
There was.
Where was that placed?
That was how our desks are. We have a top, an opening area where you can store away things, and he had that taped up on his desk area for, obviously, for me to see.
What was the content of that poster?
The content, he went into the village manual, and he had printed off the sexual harassment policy, and then he took a highlighter to everything that said sexual, and he highlighted the word sexual through the whole poster that he posted up.
How did those items affect you?
Again, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe one more thing after a restraining order, and then another restraining order by a judge and a commissioner, and he still would not stop.
Now, were you aware of a Winnebago County Sheriff's Office investigation beginning in this matter in May of 2018?
Yes.
Did you personally request that investigation?
It was through, I believe it started through my attorney, and then that's how the police department had gotten involved.
You didn't personally take it upon yourself to go?
I didn't know.
Now, Mandy, if you looked at each of these incidents in a vacuum, isolated from all the others, do you think you would be so scared or frightened?
As a whole, it scares the living daylights out of me. As a whole, yes, but there's also the 3 incidences, obviously him knowing where looking up my whole family, the fire and the fury, and then just a handful of days after that telling me that, I drive on this dangerous highway. So those those are major to me, but as a whole, yes. Some of the smaller incidences, because there are smaller incidents, but they were smaller incidents that were sometimes daily, if not, every other day or weekly or whatever. They happen all the time.
And emotionally speaking, can you separate any of these incidents?
No, it's just you have to look at it as a whole and think, it's unbelievable.
Here's the tough question. Why didn't you quit?
I did not quit. I am the insurance holder for my whole entire family. I have 2 kids, so we obviously need the insurance. And then, I truly enjoy my job. I truly enjoy what I do. I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy all the other people besides Mr. Kachinsky that I work with. They're a joy to be around. I'm never sick. I enjoy my position there, minus everything else here.
Do you feel supported by the administration and HR?
Absolutely, they're 110% behind me.
And did you feel that you had family support at this time?
Absolutely, same.
Even with that support, did you still feel scared or harassed by the actions of the defendant?
Pretty much on a daily basis, yes.
So that support didn't take away from how you felt by Mr. Kachinsky's actions?
Right.
Now, did this blend into your home life in any way?
Absolutely.
In what way?
Either it was like I was crying or yelling or upset, to the point where we would get on the phone with each other, because I have 2 boys. We had to take care of them, and all I did was argue about he just can't leave me alone. And it was a point where it was every day my husband would go, "What's next? what did he do today? And I would say every single day. There's some, I mean, as I stated, there could have been upwards of 10 emails, maybe 1, maybe 0, but it was just every single day. And it was, sometimes, you know, we should have been doing family things and we weren't, because I was griping to my husband about everything that I was going through.
Did you take any precautions at home to make yourself feel better?
Absolutely.
What did you do?
At home, we do have an alarm system on our house. So I have either, you know, we put it on right away when we get home or shortly after we get home. Did it lax, you know, a little bit after this case had started when the bond conditions went in? Yes, but there was a time where we'd come home and a second we came home, we put that on, we shut our curtains. I was scared.
Your Honor, at this time, I would ask to move all exhibits not previously moved into evidence, and I would have no further questions at this time.
No.
Okay, the court then will receive, I have 1, 3, 4, 8, 12, 14, 24, 27, 28, I think I've got them all. Am I correct? The other ones that have been referred to were already received. Did I get them all?
Then yes, if everything that's been on the witness stand is received.
Yes, I had already received a number of exhibits prior to the time that you moved the balance. Does that comport with your notes?
I have 3 received prior to what she
So-
was just offering.
So did I.
Okay, and then I have all the ones that you indicated.
So so the
We're on
record
the
is
same
good.
page.
All right, very well. Attorney Folger has concluded direct. Attorney Studensky Cross, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Excuse me. There was 25 as well that was referenced, I believe.
Yes, yes.
Were all 3 letter of reprimands?
I know I missed one. 21 I missed. Did you get that one? I missed 21.
Okay.
So 21 is in, and 25 is in. Now we're straight? Okay, I had missed 21, and we also needed
I
25.
do, that's it.
All right,
Felt very-
we're good. Attorney Twardinsky, please go ahead.
Just one moment here. You could mark these. Yes. All right, this part, so we're going to jump back in time. We're going to chronologically go through this again with some other issues. So I want to take you back to before you started this job. You worked at Allegheny County, correct?
Correct.
And how many years were you at Allegheny County?
8.
Okay. And during that time, you had seen Mr. Kachinsky around the courthouse.
Yes, correct.
You had said before you had heard him meow before in the courthouse, had heard of that.
Yes. And at the Village of Fox Crossing offices.
Okay. And you had become Facebook friends with him at some point when Allegheny County.
Yes.
You recall roughly when that was, or?
I can just say it's only within the 8 years that I worked there.
So
Exact time I don't know.
But it's been some time that you've been Facebook.
Yes.
And prior to you working there, would you occasionally comment on any posts you had up?
I would say, I mean, if I look back, I wouldn't disagree that he would comment, so I would say yes.
All right. you actually approached him via Facebook Messenger to ask about this job, correct?
Yes, he had posted it as a public post online, and then I had sent him a Facebook message that I was interested in the court manager position.
So you didn't contact the Village of Fox Crossing first, you contacted him by messenger?
Yes,
Okay.
because it wasn't posted yet, and Len, I believe, had put in there that it wasn't posted, meaning on the Village of Fox Crossing website. I think he referenced that it wasn't
Okay.
posted by the Human Resources, is how I should say it.
I'm going to approach what's been marked as Exhibit C. I'm going to ask you to read here for the jury. Okay. So this, let's start right here. And this is a message dated April 13th.
So, right here,
Yes,
this one?
please.
Okay. It says, "Thank you for the update. I'm planning on applying, and thank you for the heads up. I'm crossing my fingers that I would get it with my 4-year degree from Oshkosh and close to 14 years in the court system. I'm glad you sent me a message because I looked at this morning and I didn't see it posted yet. Thank you again."
And you did skip over, after you say court system, you do include a smiley face emoticon, correct?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. And then I'm going to ask you to agree what will be a message later that day. This would be page 3 of Exhibit C, starting with perfect. And please include,
I wrote, "Perfect. I hope I'm the best candidate. Since I can't locate it online at this point, I will call Lisa, who is the HR director. I will call her tomorrow to see if she can send me the posting."
again, after perfect, you had included a smiley face emoticon.
Absolutely, yes.
While he doesn't do some walking. Now, I want you to look then, looks like you guys talked back and forth for a few days about it, talked about getting a reference together, exchanged issues, and you told me you sent your resume in. And then on April 16th, there's an exchange here where Len writes, starting with Bucky. What did you say there?
Bucky and Rascal approve.
Okay, and what did you reply to that?
Yeah, now that's awesome.
Okay. At that point, did you know who Bucky and Rascal were?
I believe in speaking, and I would have to say this loosely, in speaking at the courthouse, he did talk about his cats.
Okay. So before you even took the job, he was telling you his cats approved to you?
Yes.
Now, in July of 2016, you participated in the Brett Younger Race 5K?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And during that time, prior to the race, where was Attorney Kachinsky at that time?
He was in the hospital.
Okay, and at that time, he was limited and not supposed to leave the hospital, correct?
He was not supposed to leave, that is correct, which I did not know until later.
Okay. But so he did come up and participate in that race that day?
He did, yes.
And you were actually at the finish line cheering him on when he completed?
Yes, because I participated as well as my husband and my boys,
So you and your boys and your husband were there cheering him on when he completed?
as well as our human resources and Karen Nagorny, who actually ended the race with him.
Okay. All right, looks like on July 9th, I want you to read what your statement was to him that day of the
Can we
race.
identify the exhibit?
I'm sorry, this is Exhibit C, page 6.
We are still on Exhibit C, and this is page 6.
Yes.
Thank you.
And this is when I'm cheering him on, making sure, he has his medical issues, and I am encouraging him. So it says, "Judge K, you did a great job today. We're all there for you today. Please let me know when you're up to or how you're feeling. It was a lot today, but I know you are such a strong person. Glad to see you and truly brought tears to my eyes when you crossed the finish line, knowing how hard you fight. You have such a great family and friend support. Talk with you soon.
Okay. So, I mean, at this point in time, he's a friend to you.
Absolutely, and I was supporting him through his GVDB crisis.
Okay. And in fact, you would call him a good friend at this point.
I wouldn't call him a good friend. I wouldn't say good friend. I didn't tell him my deepest, darkest secrets. I would say friend, yes.
Okay. Could you read what you wrote here on, would have been July 31st? This is Exhibit C, page 8, right here.
And I did write good friend. You are also a good friend and a coworker to me. I really enjoy working with you. Tell them to stop extending your stay. And what they were doing at the hospital was extending his stay even longer because of his medical issues. Thank you for keeping me updated. Glad Barb is bringing things to you to keep you occupied. Otherwise, you would go stir crazy. Len Strong, you will be back in action soon.
And could you explain what is Len Strong?
His friend Kara had made these bracelets that she got created when he was very ill. And they had, I don't remember the staying on there, but it said Len Strong on there.
And people around the courthouse wore those?
Absolutely. She dispersed them to many at the courthouse.
You actually had one at some point?
I did, yes.
And I think at some point you sent a picture to Len of one of your boys gathered up several of them. And...
Absolutely. We were supporting him 100%, hoping he would come through his medical issues.
And you were concerned about him?
Absolutely. We were very concerned because he was very ill.
Okay. And so I asked you to read what you wrote on August 10th here. This is page 10 of Exhibit C.
And down here?
Down at the bottom, yes. Thank you.
I said to him, I hope your day is going well. I'm so used to hearing from you at work or how fun, and I haven't heard from you since this morning, so I'm having a glass of wine to cheers the best for you. I know it sounds funny, but I am used to hearing from you during the day, so I was concerned. You would tell me Mandy Fido, and I will as soon as I hear how you're doing, because he was very ill.
Okay. And without explaining the F, or just kind of suggest it, what does FIDO stand for? Do you recall?
Do I have permission to say it?
Don't just say F word, we'll say that.
Say it in
If it's the F word, say it's the F word and then go on from there.
F word, it, drive on.
Thank you. And thank you for asking permission. So and so during this time, you continue to talk to him on a regular basis via Facebook Messenger.
Yes, because he was either, at that point in time, he was not in the office, and absolutely I was rooting him on, hoping he would get better because he was very ill.
But your Facebook Messenger conversations are not about work.
No, at this juncture, absolutely not. They're me rooting him on, hoping to be blatantly honest, hoping he survived. He was that ill.
But you talked about other things too. I mean, looking here, you talked about, well here, let's just say, it looks like this is approaching Exhibit C, page 15. If you just look at the two paragraphs here.
Do you want me to read them? Or do you-
No, but that's,
Okay.
you just confirmed. So you're talking about the election that's coming up then?
Yep, we had several personal, this is all prior to April of 2017, but yes, we had prior conversations, personal conversations about our children, about our home lives, roles, whether it was politics. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
So it wasn't you just cheering him on. It was a conversation that two friends would have.
To an extent conversation, it wasn't not long lost secrets. It was general conversation about family or a home life or in that incidence.
Right. But you would tell him about things going on with your kids.
I would, yes.
Okay. You would talk about working out with him.
Yes,
Okay. Talk about how your exercise routine is going.
absolutely.
Okay. And at some point, you started talking about and calling the office the happy zone.
Yes.
Can you explain where that came from?
I was absolutely happy there. I mean, I still am, besides all of this and everybody else, but absolutely, it was a job that I enjoy. It was a job that I went to every day. It was a job that I enjoyed being there. So yes, you're absolutely correct.
I'm going to ask you to read This is Exhibit C, page 20, starting with "Hope you had a great day." And then
Wait,
you
where's it?
started it with Judge King, correct?
Oh, right down here. Is this, I'm going to run Mason to the conference?
Yeah, go ahead, just read that whole thing.
Okay, Judge K, I'm going to run to Mason's conference, so I can't get out to run in the sun here in about 15 minutes. And yes, sounds awesome tomorrow, giver. Hope you had a great day. Time just flew by in the happy zone. Gary Schmidt stopped by on his way through from Wapaka to visit. Doug also wanted me to thank you for the card. Very thoughtful. Yet another reason I'm in the happy zone. Have an awesome night, Judge K.
So again, the conversations continue, they're positive, you're volunteering personal details.
Absolutely. All prior to April of 2017.
Now, in December of 2016, you exchanged Christmas gifts with Mr. Kachinsky?
Yes, that is correct.
And you actually suggested that the two of you go out to lunch with,
No, Mr. Kachinsky suggested that.
okay, so you included your significant others on this?
Yes, it was my husband and his wife.
Okay, and you went out to Cafe Nutrition?
That is correct.
Okay, and you gave him a shadow box, right?
That is correct.
And it wasn't completely finished, or there was some issue with it?
Right.
Okay. Now, that night after and the dinner went fine, right? Or the lunch?
Yep, it was I don't know what you mean by fine, but he was very, very ill. So as good as it could go, yes.
But after the dinner, he became ill and actually had to go to the hospital that night?
No, it was a lunch, and then,
After the lunch, I keep saying dinner.
oh, and I apologize. And then I went back to work after lunch, and we had court that evening. And he was very ill. And he came to court that evening, and he decided to tell his wife that he should go to the hospital.
And I want to have you read what you wrote the next day to him. Right here, starting with Judge K. And this is Exhibit C, page 33, and this will go on to page 34.
Sure. I said, Judge K, you made my year by hiring me and trust me, my family and I thank you for that. I've been the happiest I have been in a long time. Thank you. And yes, hugs to all of you. You are a very patient person and strong and great. You are, or are all, I meant probably all the above. Thank you for being you. You will get better and we'll run again next summer, and hell, I will walk. I'm good with that too. We got this. Stay strong. You're not only my boss, you're my buddy, so stay strong.
Okay. And again, so that is, I'm sorry, what's the date on that post?
That post is 12/16, and he went in the hospital at 12/15.
Okay. I'll take those from you. And so those, the next 3 months of post, there's multiple pages here. You guys continue to talk. There's more information exchange, positive messages.
Positive messages, yes.
And then on March 16th, now this is March 16th, 2017. This is 1 month before you gave him the letter on April 18th. I'd ask you to read. This is Exhibit C, page 55, right there, starting with Judge K.
Judge K, you're inspiring to many. That is amazing. You also have made me look at life in a whole new way. Cherish what you have for today, and tomorrow is never promised. Again, because he was very ill. You have always been a fighter, and that has made me think the same. You rock, and I'll see you tonight for court. Should be interesting if they all remain on.
And then, several days later, this would be Exhibit C, page 57, looks like the conversation, oh, here, let's just pick this up. This is on March 28th. Len writes you,
Karen Nagorny wonders if you would be up for lunch Friday somewhere in the CB and American Drive or area on Friday.
and did you end up having lunch with Karen and Jeff?
No, those two went to lunch. I did not.
But they came by to see you afterwards, right?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened when they came by afterwards?
When they came by, he walked past the window. He stood underneath the window and he jumped up and he yelled, "Roar." And then him and Kara were laughing. They came in. I got along with Kara very well. She came in. We laughed. It was either Kara or Judge that said, "Oh, let's take some pictures."
Okay. And one last one here. So this looks like after the talk about lunch, it doesn't give times, but I'd ask you to read, starting here with, "Judge, you are awesome."
Judge, you're awesome. Keep you posted, but it should work, and I'm allowed a little long break too. It will be busy, but it'll be good to get back in the swing, and time will go fast. All right, rascal.
And then again, there's some emoticons after that.
Yes.
You described those.
I think they have thumbs up or,
Okay.
yep.
And what does Len reply?
And who got me started on emoticons?
Does he include some in his message?
Yes, he puts a smiley face and a muscle.
And how do you reply?
And how do I reply? Me and emoticon.
How many emoticons?
9.
9, okay. Now, you use Facebook, right?
Yes,
Okay, so you're familiar with how Facebook works.
yes,
You're familiar that you have a wall,
yes,
and you can post things on your wall.
yes,
Other people can post things on your wall.
yes,
And you can comment on posts on other people's walls.
yes.
Okay, so, and actually, you were messaging, looks like, apologize here. Oh, you were actually messaging Len on Facebook about your vacation to Florida?
I could have been, but I just need to see it to refresh my memory.
Let's look at this as page 56 of Exhibit C, March 24th, if you could read that.
March 24th. That I sent you, Doug. Judge K, you rock out day has been extending to the day of hell? What? I don't understand.
This is your message.
And I'm trying to read what I wrote. Instead of the beach, we are in Minneapolis now, leaving soon. Beach at almost sundown leaves Mandy Bartelt one less day of a tan. We'll read up on your email. And again, Judge K, you rock.
Okay, so you had talked to him about that you were going to be on vacation in Florida,
Yes.
okay?
He approves my vacation.
Okay, so you talked about that you would be there without your kids.
Yes. Or I don't, well, I can't say yes or no if I did say we were out without the kids. I don't remember.
And so it's at this time that Len commented on a post of one of your friends saying she's on a second honeymoon in Florida.
Yes.
Okay. And it was a comment on another friend's post asking where you are.
And I honestly, I couldn't tell you if it was somebody that wrote something and he commented or if it was something he brought about. I don't remember that at all.
Okay, so
I just know what he said.
you don't remember in detail whether it was.
As far as who brought up the subject, I just remember what he wrote.
So it was just one post on Facebook, correct?
That it was a comment that he had, and like I said, a post or a comment, it was, yes, that he had stated that.
Okay. And he didn't comment other times on your Facebook around that time period?
And honestly, I don't remember. That was just the one that stuck out in my head as odd.
And you didn't talk about any other posts with anyone?
No, that was the post that was brought to my attention. So I could have talked about other posts, but that was the post that was brought to my attention.
Oops. I could just a moment. I need to-
Sure.
Now, you spoke with officers in May of 2018,
Yes, that's correct.
and in speaking with officers, I guess I'm just going to play what you described to them in talking about this. So this has been previously marked as Defense Exhibit A. I'd ask permission to publish this to the jury starting at 6 minutes.
Is there any objection, first of all, to this exhibit being considered by the court and received and then published?
No objection to either.
All right, the court then would understand Exhibit A, which is what, please?
Exhibit A is the recording of a interview between Mandy Bartelt, Captain Mack, and Officer, if the state will remind me of the other officer's name. Raymond. Thank you.
And the date?
That was in May of 2018, I believe it's May 22nd.
Okay, so Exhibit A is received. It may be published, and I understand, Attorney Swedinsky, by agreement you are playing a portion of Exhibit A at this time?
Yes, I will play from 6 minutes to 6 minutes, 30 seconds.
Husband and I were on our second honeymoon.
I'm going to take that back a minute. Just to make sure the jury heard that entirely. So I'm actually going to start playing here at 5:53. Just
And I think when it really hit was March. At the end of March, my husband and I went to visit my husband's aunt in Florida. And he started posting all this stuff on Facebook that my husband and I were on our second honeymoon. And people were asking me, are you okay? Like, are you okay? And I'm like, why would we be okay? And all I saw the post on Facebook that you guys were on our second honeymoon. I said, he went down and visited his aunt and had fun on the beach and hang out in the sun. And so that was weird. And then,
so when you're telling the officers, you said he's posting all this stuff on Facebook. That's what you said, right?
Right.
But it was just one post.
And I don't know if it was more posts. That was the only one that I was interested in, was that he was posting stuff on Facebook that we were on our second honeymoon.
Okay. So the other posts don't ring a bell as being of any concern?
And
There were, because you can't recall if there were.
there was other ones, yes, but I don't know what dates there were around that.
Okay. Now, you were involved in a civil case labeled 17 CV 954. And as part of that case, you gave an affidavit on January 23rd. Does that sound familiar?
I honestly, that I'd have to,
But you gave several affidavits. You know what it means to give an affidavit?
yes.
You swear to the statements in there. I'd ask you to read number 2, and this has been marked Exhibit B right here.
Okay, first of all, Exhibit B is what, please?
Apologize. It is the affidavit of Mandy Bartelt in case number 17 CV 954.
All right, I'm sorry.
No problem.
I just need to make sure that my notes reflect what we're talking about. Go
If I
ahead,
could
please.
read number 2, please.
Sure. Beginning of April 2017, the municipal court judge For Fox Crossing, Len Kachinsky began sending me an excessive number of personal emails. At the same time, Judge Kachinsky was posting personal information about me on his personal Facebook page.
Thank you. Now, you gave testimony in a hearing in case 18 CV 102 on June 9th. You testified about that previously.
Okay, I'd have to look at it to refresh my memory.
I'm going to show you a transcript. This has been marked as State's Exhibit 50 here. I'm going to ask you to read starting with page 15, or page 15, line 15.
So you just want me to read line 15, is that all?
Starting with line 15 and carrying on down to, I guess, the rest of your statement down to line 23, please.
What had happened, there are several things that keep happening along the way, and as Judge Kachinsky had stated, he was in the hospital, and then he was released, and then went back in. So the second time he had gotten out, there was just little things that just didn't add up, and one of the things he started posting on Facebook and telling people and Facebook friends I was on my second honeymoon, and it just, I was not on a second honeymoon. Also, I did not like that he posted I was gone on Facebook and is just other little things.
Thank you. Now, the email that you sent him on April 18th, you started the message with, "I got your message about the muffins." Do you recall that?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And so this was one occasion where you posted a recipe on your Facebook page?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you, this has been marked Exhibit D. This is an email chain that starts from Len Kachinsky to Mandy Bartelt on April 17th, 2017, and then continues to the final reply from back and forth with Judge Kachinsky on April 17th at 8:17 p.m. If you could read right here, that's what Attorney Kachinsky
Okay,
is.
and again, what are we referring to, please?
This is Exhibit D. This is an email from, email chain from Len Kachinsky to Mandy Bartelt with the subject line, "Freighter."
It says, "Mandy, the dietitian approved the oatmeal cupcakes and even encouraged it. I use minute oats instead of steel cut oats. Easier on the GI system. So sometime this week I will attempt it. Did you try it?"
And so at this point, you haven't told him there's anything wrong with communicating, correct? This is the day before you send that email, yes?
Right, because things were building up until that point, yes.
And you then reply to him, "I haven't tried it yet," correct?
Correct, because I didn't.
Okay. Now, this is the one time that he tried to bring in something you've made on your Facebook, a food you made on your Facebook page, correct?
That I posted on Facebook. I didn't make it. I posted it on there, and he wanted to bring it in for lunch for me.
Okay, so that happened on one occasion.
Answer?
There was not an answer.
That happened on this one occasion.
That he asked to bring that specific posting from Facebook in, yes, that specific incident.
So now, on April 18th, you tell him that you don't want to have non-work related conversations while at work because of changing to the paperless system, correct?
Yes.
I'd ask to publish here. Now, that wasn't the truth, why you wanted to stop at that point.
It was the tiptoe around it.
Okay. I'm going to ask to publish here, this was Exhibit A, audio, we're going to start at 13:50.
And again, this is the interview from May 22nd with the authorities, correct?
Correct.
And there is agreement that this is going to be published?
Yes.
All right,
I don't think, just for the record, I don't think the state of any objection to any portion of this interview being published. We talked about it previously, they can correct me if I'm wrong.
That's accurate.
all right.
So I'm starting at 13:50, and I will play till 14:13.
In April, I asked him, can we just please keep this work related? And I'll tell you the honest truth, I made up the excuse and I said, we're doing paperless here, I need to concentrate on my work. I'm here for almost a year, how do I tell my one and only boss that can that, I just really don't know. So that was the first, I started sending emails, to tell him, please.
It stopped at 14:16. So, I mean, you just say you made up the reason, it wasn't a real reason.
Yes, I tiptoed around it, yes.
And so this is April 18th, 2017.
Yes.
So 1 month earlier, we just showed that you were having regular Facebook message exchanges.
I was slowly but surely decreasing that, but yes, you're absolutely correct. There was Facebook messages, yes.
You're saying you were slowly decreasing them?
Yes, because his behavior started to escalate, and yes, we were still speaking on Messenger.
Okay, but just a month ago is when you tell him, I think you said, I'm going to withdraw that. We'll just let that. So at this point, you had called him friend, correct?
On what date?
I'm sorry. So as of a month earlier, March, you were friends with him.
I would say I was still friends with Len, but I was watching behaviors that had started to occur. So yes, I would still say that we got along. I spoke with him on Messenger. I was still rooting him on from his medical issues. Yes.
Watching behaviors that would occur?
Yes, that is correct.
You're referring to specifically that you did a Facebook post about your mom, or about your location.
Yes, and then his stopping in at the office increased, and he had to be there, and he had to have meetings with me. Yes, behaviors.
And when he would call meetings, they were by email, correct?
He would say that he was stopping in at, so for example, he'd send an email and say, I'm stopping in at 2:30, we need to have a meeting.
Okay, so there wouldn't be a meeting without an email in reference to that.
I couldn't be 110% certain on that. He could have came in and called a meeting, but you're right, most of the time, yes, he would send an email to say he's going to conduct another meeting.
You know what exhibits you have on my desk. I'm gonna. I apologize, I was midstream, I had to lose the pages of the exhibit. I'm going to ask you to take a look at this. Will be marked as state's exhibit, or as defense exhibit. We have now E. This is an email exchange that concludes on April 21st, 2017 at 9:46 with a caption, "Open Communication." I'd ask you to read from Mandy down to the end of that first paragraph.
These two right here?
Yeah.
Mandy, this job is one of my main sources of emotional satisfaction in life, as I bluntly told Sisson last summer. If there is something that needs to be changed or something went wrong, don't be afraid to bring it up, just like you shed a few tears when I missed an afternoon of medical status report. I shed a few when I could not figure out what the problem was between us in the last couple of days. And when I stopped over, it was like old times. It was complicated because I am both the boss and a close friend, but I think we'll manage well.
And if I could, then the last reply, this is on April 21st, what does he say to you?
Keep up the excellent work. It's great knowing you as a coworker and a friend.
And how do you reply? Go ahead and read your reply then.
Yes, I'm glad we could talk things out and still have a good working relationship. That is great, and I know you appreciate it as well as I do. And then do you want me to read the second paragraph?
Go ahead, yeah.
And I hope you and Barb have a great evening out to eat. It should be a nice weekend too. And yes, Mason got to have fun last night, but we'll extend that into the weekend since he was better, but not back to norm.
And you conclude that with an exclamation point? Not back to norm?
Yes.
And then the next line after that, and the punctuation?
Have a great day, Judge Kay.
And the punctuation?
Yes.
What's the
Oh,
punctuation?
but exclamation mark.
Okay. So you didn't take this opportunity to explain any more clearly the reason why you didn't want to talk or say anything. In fact, you just responded positively.
In that email, yes, I tried to tiptoe and be as kosher and as nice as I could.
And you shared information about your son as well.
Yes, because I believe he allowed me off for a surgery that my son had.
All right, now, the following week after this, this is where you described that he told you that he was able to find that your mom had been at your house on Facebook?
Yes, that was the Tuesday after we had the party. The party was on a Sunday.
I'm going to ask to publish to the jury the audio of the interview from May 22nd, starting with 9:50.
This is Exhibit A again?
Exhibit A again.
Please go ahead.
Looks like we're going to actually be at 9:44. I started.
And I'm sitting here, and I'm doing my work, and he's talking over there, and all of a sudden he says, hey.
Attorney Swidenski, our friend over here needed to just stand to stretch his back. Why don't you begin again with what you were playing? Because I was concerned that maybe he was in some sort of distress. I don't think he is. He just needed to stand and stretch.
There's nothing under that cushion.
You need a break?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
There's the cushion's flat. The board underneath.
Okay. If you need a breather, please let me know, okay, sir?
No, I'm
Thank you.
fine.
I apologize.
That's all right. Now my computer's getting angry with me here. There we go. I apologize, Judge.
No problem.
Once it stops, it's not letting me go
I'm
back.
sorry that we interrupted you. I apologize for that.
All right, I'm going to come back to that in a minute here. All right, I'm looking at an email exchange that ends on May 11/301, starting with the caption, "Receipts and Interruptions."
Seth?
Yes.
The exchange starts back with an email you wrote on May 10th at 4:22. I'd ask you to read that email here, starting with Judge K.
Judge K., Aaron has brought to my attention a few receipts I had been working on Monday while you were here. These receipts were not correct, even though it did not bring a different outcome because the monies were still entered correctly. It is that I like to have things perfected and no questions would be needed of what I had typed on a receipt. We had spoke last Thursday in a meeting about stops at work being work-related. This would help me a lot and help me keep my work perfected as it should be with no question from Aaron. If there is a work-related matter, we can take the time to deal with that matter, and then I will not have to rush my work as a personal conversation is taking place. Then I know I am always concentrating on what I'm doing. I am very confident in my work, and I would like to keep that confidence and know that things are always correct. I know you are always a call away or an email away if there's something that was needed to be done in person, which is always appreciated.
Now, Attorney Kachinsky then replies to you, trying to address that. I'd ask you to read the highlighted portion of this email of what he says. Just actually just the first sentence.
My casual observation is that you are entering more data now than before. Data entry time is based on the number of entries made, not necessarily amounts. 5 seatbelt tickets consume more time than 1 intermediate speeding. Lisa did not think you were stressed, but I disagree. It is not out of control, but I will minimize distractions. But I just do not want a situation where we do not have the usual short office pleasantries about how the weekend or your workouts, etc. We need to conserve time to get the job done, but still have the happy zone.
And you reply to him, and I'm actually going to note the punctuation here specifically. This is starting here at Judge K with, "I am not stressed at all." If you could read that.
Judge K., I'm not stressed at all. I handle my job very well and I'm confident in my work. Each day I have in mind what I need to get accomplished and I do so. I also forward think and know what is going on so I can stay on task. I'm just asking the stops be work related so I'm not distracted.
And I'm sorry, I asked you to note the punctuation there. I thought you said, "I'm not stressed at all." What do you put after that?
And that's a normal
I'm
me.
sorry, what did you put after that?
I just put ...
And how many dots did you put?
8.
Okay. All right, and Judge replies to you here on May 11th. Just read the first line here, the highlight portion.
Mandy, okay, I just detected some frustration in this email. That might be more accurate description than stressed.
Okay. So it seems like you guys are kind of talking past each other a little bit.
Meaning?
Well, like, you seem upset that he said you were stressed, but he didn't mean to be making you stressed, so it's like you're not communicating very well.
And I mean, that's just a perception, I guess, you could have off the email.
Okay. Let me see if I got this back on. You met with officers in May of 2018, correct?
That is correct.
And when you talked with them, you told them that things started going very well.
You mean going well, like when I first
Going well at your job.
started, yes.
Yeah.
Yep, up until when he came back from that second time around, things obviously declined as the emails show.
And you were talking to the officers about the entire year of events.
That's possible, yes.
Okay. And asked to publish to the jury here. Looks like we're gonna start at 1435 and I'll go to 1540.
That he was out of the hospital the second time. We have to plan this. And this is in May now, and I just said, I'm not planning any party. You know, it's in writing, I'm like, your family can plan the party. I don't want anything to do with the party. And then it was like sending me a reset button, and we need to talk, and men from Mars, women from Venus, and now I'm thinking, this is starting to creep me out, because that's something that if you have like, I would think that'd be like a relationship, like if you have a relationship, I would say that.
Sure.
But I'm not just gonna say to you as a coworker.
Sure.
Man, again, it's all in training, and I went down Friday of Memorial Weekend, so 1 year ago it was Friday today, and I lost it. I mean, I'm bawling, and I'm just telling HR, I'm like, this is crazy. I'm like, for almost 20 years.
This was the tipping point for you, was
This was
we
the
all
tipping
that matter remarks.
Yeah, as a reset button, and then all weekend long, he sends me, then I went on Facebook, and I will,
Oh, I'm sorry.
again, sounds childish.
Okay, so I stopped at 1545. That's, you're telling me I was just blocked it after about, looks like late May.
That is correct, Memorial Weekend.
Okay, and you're telling me this, well, I'm going to ask to show you an email. This is the Men Are From Mars, Venus, Women Are From Venus email. This is entitled, Today's Visit Canceled, date May 25th, 2017. Could you read the entirety of the email? The highlighted portion.
The highlighted portion. Mandy, men are from Mars and women are from Venus. It's sometimes hard to understand that things seem minor to me might be bigger deal from someone else. I am sad about the current state, but I will recover. And then,
So you're telling me that that email, him sending you that email, was a tipping point that you went down to Human Resources and literally cried.
Human Resources was involved before that. It was just the fact that, yes, I did cry, because at that point, whatever was said to him, he would not stop.
I'm sorry. You told officers that this email right here was the tipping point for you, correct?
It was that weekend when he sent the reset button, which is what I believe how I said it. And there was many tipping points, so I guess that was one of them.
Now, he had asked you prior to that to help him plan his second return celebration, correct?
Yes.
And you guys had actually talked about that previously when he was in the hospital?
I don't recall if we talked about it while he was in the hospital. We could have.
So I'm going to ask you to read this as Exhibit C. This is page 41. Right below the picture of the Army. This is you replying to him, I believe.
I am looking forward to 2017. You are going to rock the party. Happy to hear Noelle and Barb. We're a very big support. We're being very supportive. How awesome is that? And bring on those solids. I celebrated for you yesterday, and I will, of course, toast you tonight. Boys took some awesome pictures. We're thinking of you, Judge K.
Okay, thank you.
And this was, what was the date of that communication again?
That would be December 31st, 2016. It's page 41 of Exhibit C.
Thank you.
You had helped him plan the last party when he got out of the hospital, correct?
When he got out of the hospital first time, yes, that is correct.
And that was in September of 2016?
Yes, that was shortly after I started.
Okay, and That was at Holiday's Pub?
That is correct.
You guys went there together to check out the pub before, to
Yes,
see if it was a good place?
yes.
Okay. Let's go back now. All right, so we're gonna go back and you talk about the GPS location of your mom, Facebook, Find My Friends. I'm gonna ask to publish the jury starting at 9:50. Looks like the best idea to stop is 9:32 to 10:05.
Facebook thanked her for that. Then, at the end of April 2017, I was having my kids' birthday parties. We live in Hortonville, and he came in that week. And I'm sitting here, and I'm doing my work, and he's talking over there, and all of a sudden he says, "Hey, I saw your mom was at your house." I turned around and I said, "What?" I said, "How do you know my mom was at your house?" And he said, "Oh, I saw it through Facebook that your mom was at your house." I didn't know you could do this, so put that to the side for a second. I checked in. How do you do this? Like, how are you seeing who is where? We have to go into Facebook friends, you have to go in, find that person, and then you can see where they're at. If they have a location on, like I never put mine on, but if my location was on, I could be in Illinois right now, and somebody would, find me and it would say, "I'm in Illinois."
Sorry, I went a little late, that's 10:36. So when he told you this, you weren't listening to what he was saying.
When he told me what?
I'm sorry, when he said that he saw that your mom was at your house, you had your back to him.
I was working because his desk is back here. So I was typing, working, doing my work, and all of a sudden he said to me, "I saw your mom was at your house on Sunday."
And that's when you turned around and listened.
And that's when I flipped around in my chair because his desk is behind mine, correct?
And it's after that you went to Human Resources and told them that he was tracking your mom.
Because of how he showed me how he did it, yes.
That's what you said to them.
I don't know if I used the word tracking, but I can tell you that I said that he found my mom on Facebook. I don't know if I used those specific words.
I published 10:50 to 11:30 of Exhibit A.
Read it or that?
Yeah, because that was the first time I got my HR, and I said to Lisa, I go, "What the hell? He's like, why do you care where my mom is? Like, maybe you're Facebook friends with him. Why wouldn't he click on your name? Like, why would you have to purposely
Oops, sorry.
go in there, find my mom, and see where she's at?" So I called my mom, and I was like, "I don't know what the hell's going on." And my mom was like all taken back, and I said, "Here's the deal. There's some weird stuff going on." And I said, "I know this sounds childish, but I said, you need to just block him out of anything." I'm like, "You've never met the guy." I said, "You sent him a formal prayer. Just do that for me."
So I stopped at 11:32. I'm going to ask to approach here and show you this is Exhibit B. Could you please read number 4?
On April 25th, 2017, I had a conversation with Judge Kachinsky in which he informed me that he discovered where my mother's whereabouts were through a tracking feature nearby friends on Facebook. Do you want me to keep?
And over to the next page, please.
Yes. It was after the conversation with Judge Kachinsky that I met with the village manager, Jeffrey Sturgill, and explained to him my concerns about Judge Kachinsky's emails and postings that he was tracking my mother's location.
Now, it was around this time that you say Lynn came in the office 3 times this week.
I believe it was the next week, the beginning of May, if I'm not correct. It could have been at the end of April as well.
So I'm asked to show you, this is an email from you to Lisa Malone, May 26th, entitled Stops. And if you could just read the first line here, the second paragraph,
What number is that?
H.
So this right here. The following week, week of May 8th, he was in the office 3 separate times.
So, and this is responding, I assume, to, at this point, you're talking to Lisa Malone, Human Resources, about your concerns.
Yes, that was, I believe, was that after or before the meeting? I don't remember. I'd have to.
Well, this is May 26th.
So that was after our first meeting with Human Resources, yes.
And so, at this point, they're asking you to share things that concern you.
Yes, that's correct.
And when things come up, you're sending them in emails or keeping them updated.
I'm keeping them updated, that's correct.
Now, during this week, this is where Lynn sat in the office and you said he was making cat noises?
That is correct. And I don't know what week it was. I shouldn't say that. I should say it was May. I'm not sure of the specific week. It could have been, it was in May. That I do know. You'd have to refresh my memory.
Okay, so this would actually be, I'm going to ask you to read what you see here at the end of this email. So this is the same paragraph here
Where do you want me to start?
with another time.
Another time he was in that week, he had a wedding and he was in the office for over 45 minutes just staring without any work to do, making cat noises.
Your Honor, I'm actually going to take a break.
We're going to take a break. I just noticed that one of our jurors was nodding off a bit. He just did, not more than 30 seconds ago, but that's a telltale sign that we need to take a breather, and so we are going to. We will reconvene at about 20 to 3. Please, ladies and gentlemen, while I told you not to deliberate, and you're not going to, but your first decision to make as a group, if you could please, is to give me a consensus on what you want to do tonight. I'm not going to keep us here beyond 4:30 or 4:45 if someone has a particular concern, if I'm causing us any problems. By the same token, if we can forge ahead towards 6 and make that work, what we do tonight is going to make things that much better tomorrow, toward the end of the day tomorrow. And I'd ask if you could please to consider what you would like to do. So we will all stand, please, while the jury is excused.
Judge?
Yes.
Can we have like 15 or 20 minutes? We only have one toilet back there.
We have 2 in our county. Just to let you know. We'll come back at about, how does 10-2 sound?
Sounds perfect.
All right, not a problem.
Thank you.
I'll put a complaint into the Winnebago County Facilities Commission.
I appreciate it.
That cools off.
I'm not going to worry about trying to reserve for my calendar until I see where we are in a moment. Thank you, folks. Please be seated. We're off the record. Nothing, we don't need to address anyone.